This Pucks Across Borders Game 2 preview brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing. They got it all. So go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code SportsAddict for 10% off regular priced and sales priced items. That's the number one. STRoundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them
And welcome. Good morning, Monday morning. Pucks Across Borders Game 2 preview. Good to be back. Couple days off on the weekend, but we're back and we're ready to talk about Game 1. I feel like the narrative's been out there. Excuse me, the Bobrovsky show, but we're going to talk about it. Also, Game 2 tonight in Florida, the Oilers. Wow, that's a tough start to a Monday morning in my throat here. Oilers hoping to tie up the series at 1 as they head to Edmonton on Thursday. But first, as always, I'm Mark Sauter. Great to be here. And at the top of your screen, right next to me, you read his work about the NFL on Gridiron Heroics. John, how we feeling on a Monday, bro? Good to see you.
Feeling pretty good. Getting it close to the summer around here, but we still have some cup final games left to end the season. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
Absolutely. And at the bottom of your screen, you read his gambling picks on winners and whiners. You read his work on Give Me Sport. Andre, how you doing on a Monday morning, bro? Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Kind of missed you over the weekend, but
Yeah.
we're back. I'm feeling pretty well. Can't wait to talk some hockey. Game 2 was taking way too long to get here. It's June 10th, but whatever. We're here.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we all understand why it is what it is and the travel days and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we got Game 2 tonight, and then we got to wait till Thursday for Game 3. And it's not as bad as the NBA Finals, though. I'll tell you that. Although basketball is a little more summer related than hockey is. But anyway, let's get into it. Saturday night, the Oilers lose 3-0 due to an empty net goal to make it the 3 against, of course, the Florida Panthers. Bobrovsky, outrageously good. I thought for the most part, the Edmonton Oilers controlled the play, controlled the game. There's a couple ways that you can look at it. You can either look at it like the Oilers played so well on Saturday that they have a lot to lean on and to build on for Game 2, or the Panthers will never play a game like that ever again, and the Oilers missed an opportunity. I think there's two ways there to look at it. Andre, let's start with you, man. What'd you take away from Game 1 in the Stanley Cup Finals on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the Oilers found out how the Stars felt in Game 6 of that conference final.
Yep.
But the Panthers, we saw this in the beginning of conference finals, really, for them. 1-0 lead going into the first. Bob stopped a couple of breakaways to keep it that way. That's a second goal, kind of off a weird bounce, weird play. But they make it 2-0 empty netter to cap it off, steal it off, 3-0 win. Boom. You're one step closer to lifting the cup. It's hard not to just fantastic because he was brilliant, and that's really, to me, that was the biggest story from that game. I think the Oilers played well, looked fine, uh, getting 32 shots in a game, especially on a team like the Panthers, especially with the way the Panthers have been playing all postseason. It's great effort, but at the same time, he couldn't beat the last line of defense. So back to the drawing board for game 2. I don't think there's any reason to panic, but at the same time, holding Florida to 18 shots and losing that game, you feel like you let one slip, especially on the road if you're the Oilers team. At least that's how I look at it. But the best thing about a 7-game series is you take it one at a time. And what happens last game doesn't have to matter for the next game or for the other 5. So really good game, really good hockey. Can't wait to see what happens tonight. I think tonight's going to be tighter, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Well, and I brought up the NBA Finals, and I do think that with Boston winning last night, that series feels like 2-0 is a much bigger margin than it does in this series. I think if the Panthers go up 2-0, you're going back to Edmonton. The hype in that city right now, I'm not worried about the Oilers if they go down 2-0, but no doubt you obviously feel much better about the situation if you get the game tonight to tie up the series. John, what about you, man? What was your takeaway from Saturday?
Saturday, I felt like the Panthers had a really good game all around. I think the biggest takeaway I'd have from that is the Oilers found out what it's like to play an elite goaltender. Bobrovsky may have arguably had the best game of the playoffs for him. And I said on the previous show that I think this was going to be the Oilers' biggest task when it came, biggest challenge, when it came to Florida, was facing a goaltender that is quite honestly at a different level than everyone they faced so far, including Ottinger. So I think they found out just how good Bobrovsky is. And I got to give him a shout out besides this, because he made a couple really great saves in that game too, because the Oilers had 2 or 3 very notable breakaways, including one from my old boy Adam Henrique that Bobrovsky just shut the door on. So I think that was a big thing. And I felt this is kind of why I like the under in game 1 as well, because I felt like the Oilers were going to have to adjust to facing him. And what you guys said too, Florida's physicality, I think that played a part too, and making the Oilers feel uncomfortable, I would say. I don't think the Oilers played a bad game, and I don't think yet. I guess you can argue they missed an opportunity just because of the shot difference, but I don't really view it that way. I think just 1 or 2 more mistakes and figuring out how to play against Bobrovsky can make this go a different way. I don't. And Skinner's stat line looks similar to Vancouver, but I don't think he played as terribly as the stat line indicated. I'll just say this, the second goal in particular, when Bennett had that pass to, I forget who scored the second one, but Bennett set it up. He had like a no-look backwards pass that was pretty amazing, similar to the conference finals. I think he's done a great job of setting his teammates up like throughout the playoffs for those type of goals, and he makes it look easy. I might argue Edmonton should have stopped that goal defensively because there were 2 players that could have broken up that pass, but Bennett shocked them to such an extent or got it off quickly enough where the Oilers just didn't know what was coming until it was too late. So I don't think Skinner got the help he needed at times, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I think the Oilers defense needs to be a little bit better because they have been pretty good throughout the entire playoffs, but I think that needs to keep going. The special teams matchup, I think, is going to be interesting moving forward because Florida's PK did a good job of shutting down Edmonton as well in game 1. And I thought I saw a graphic in that game where they killed 33 of the last 35. So their PK has been like just as good as Edmonton's lately. I think it's going to be interesting to see who cracks first moving forward. But I think I agree with you, Mark, and I don't look at this the same way I do the Dallas Mavericks falling down 2-0 against the Celtics. But obviously, you'd rather avoid going down 2-0 if possible. I'm not hitting the panic button just yet for Edmonton, though. I think there's enough there to turn this around.
Well, like I really did feel like they were the better team Saturday night. Like, it's not that the Panthers played bad necessarily. I just thought they didn't look that crisp. And from the Bobrovsky point of view, like, listen, and I hate to bring this up, Andre, I'm sorry, but with the Rangers, we talked about this the whole playoffs, where the Rangers always like allow 26, 27 plus shots, but most of those aren't quality chances, right? That wasn't the case on Saturday. Like, the Oilers had some really, really good looks, and Bobrovsky was just incredible. I do think, on the one hand, it's as simple as you just need to score goals and you can win. Like, I picked the Panthers in 5 games in our preview on Friday, and in a weird way, even though the Oilers lost, they really showed me a lot. Like, I'm way more inclined now to push this series to 6, maybe 7 games. Even if the Oilers win, way more than I was in. Even though they lost, you would think it would convince me more on my original point, but I don't know. That was one of the most impressive losses that I've seen. I just thought that they played really well. That being said, there are lots of roster questions still. Like, that Nurse CC pairing, it's just been killing them all playoffs long. And, you know, you got Desharnais sitting in the press box. He could come in. You got, you know, you can move around like Kuliak and like different players, but I don't know, man. Nurse, it's tough right now for him, and you do have to wonder. Like, I believe they were on the ice for those first 2 goals, and all playoffs long, man. They've just, not only have they not really played that well, but they're just getting bad bounces, bad luck, and that's going to be interesting to watch. Also, Evander Kane. It was well documented by him that before the playoffs started, he had a sports hernia, and all playoffs long, he hasn't practiced. He has 8 points throughout the playoffs. He's a -4. You can just tell, like, his physicality is really needed in this series specifically, and he's giving all he has to give, but I don't know how much he really has left. And you talk about the depth issues for the Oilers on the ice. Off the ice, like, you have who? Like Sam Carrick and Derek Ryan. Like, it's not like you have like the Corey Perry, like that bullet's already been shot, right? Corey Perry's in the lineup now. You don't have another one of those sitting around. And for the Oilers, like, when they score goals, it does 2 things. Number one, you score goals, so you win games. That's the obvious one. But number 2, you like the more goals that you score and the more that you play with a lead, the less your big guys have to play. And when you're like riding McDavid and Hyman and Draisaitl into the ground in game 1, game 2, like, that's a problem, right? So the more goals you score, the more you can let your depth play. And so that's going to be really interesting to watch going into the game tonight. And just to wrap it up with this, we're talking about defensively. Bouchard played 27 minutes the other night. That's 10 minutes more than any other defender on the team, including Matthias Ekholm. And I know that there were some power play opportunities or whatever, but for Bouchard to be playing 27 minutes, like, for him to be playing 10 minutes more than everybody else, that is something that I'm going to be keeping my eye on as the series progresses. All right, let's move on. Game 2 tonight, 8 p.m. in Florida. The Edmonton Oilers plus 114. That was around the same as Saturday, was it not? That wasn't too. I know yesterday it was like the Edmonton Oilers were like plus 122 or something like that. So some money coming in on the Oilers. Plus 114. The Florida Panthers minus 135. The over, surprise, surprise, 5.5 at minus 110 both ways. Plus 1.5 for the Oilers is minus 225. Minus 1.5 for the Panthers is plus 185. Andre, we'll start with you, bro. What do you see in this game tonight?
Yeah, even though the Panthers won the first game of the series, even though they won the first game of the series 3-0, I don't think they're satisfied with how they played. I don't think they're satisfied with a 1-0 lead in this series, honestly. And to no fault or disrespect towards the Oilers, but I don't think they're gonna steal a game in Florida, at least this go around. So the Panthers are going to come back with a vengeance. It's what they do. They're nasty. They out hustle you. They're just relentless. And I know the Oilers, for the most part, outskated them in game one. I don't think it's going to happen again, not in Florida. I think, especially with the way that last year went for the Panthers, they're going to 100% be flying around looking for that 2-0 lead. They want this so bad. So I don't think this is going to be a sweep or easy series at all. I think this is going to be a very tight game, so I'm not going to take like that Florida puck line or anything. But I think the Panthers win this game. I think they win it in 60 minutes. I don't think they shut out the Oilers again, but I think they hold them to 1 or 2 goals. I think they absolutely shut them down. So I'm taking Panthers 60-minute line and the under.
Well, speaking of the puck line, I got to say this. I picked the Panthers puck line on Friday, and by Saturday night, I was convinced that the Oilers would win. So I didn't even bet what I originally picked. I bet the Oilers. But I'm with you. I don't feel the puck line happening again. Excuse me. What I will say, I'm picking the Panthers too. I'm not going to go as crazy as the 60-minute line. I think minus 135. It's a little bit pricey, but I'll take it. I'm really feeling an overtime game tonight. I think 1-1, 2-2. I like the under. You're getting even money. I really like the under. I think whether it hits or not, I'll probably bet the under every game the way this is going. I think especially if the under hits tonight, then I'll be betting the under probably every game and just ride with it. I'm taking the Panthers too. I do think that the Oilers produce more than they did. Not hard to do considering they scored 0 goals. But I do think that your point is absolutely valid, that as well as the Oilers played and as well as much as they're going to be hungry to get the win tonight and to produce more, I do think that the fact that the Panthers didn't play that great and still got the win, I think they're going to come out firing tonight. And I'm going to pick the Florida Panthers minus 135 as well. I do like the draw. I have the number here. Where was it? Plus 310. So same as it was the other night. As far as goal scorers go, I'm a little bit spooked because of Saturday, but I do think that Zach Hyman, just always a good pick. Also, we threw it out here on Friday, and I'll throw it out again today. Carter Verhaeghe plus 155. That guy just scores in big moments all the time. So I really like him to score tonight. Also, on the shot prop side of things, we were spot on with Bouchard and with McDavid. Bouchard over 2.5 shots for Bouchard is minus 125. And he played almost 30 minutes the other night. If he's on the ice for another 24, 25 plus minutes, over 2.5 shots for Bouchard at minus 125 is really nice. McDavid over 3.5. I believe he had 6 shots on Saturday. Over 3.5 for McDavid is minus 110. You were getting it at plus money on Saturday, so they took that away rather quickly, but still minus 110 for over 3.5 shots for McDavid is really nice. I will also add, where is it here? Sam Bennett over 2.5 shots for Sam Bennett plus 110. He's not going to get, we talked about this the other night, he's not going to get like Conn Smythe, like the Conn Smythe trophy, but this guy just seems to be everywhere all the time. And I would not put it past him to get 3 shots on net. So over 2.5 shots for Bennett plus 110. And over 2.5 shots for Bouchard minus 125 and a Verhaeghe goal at plus 155, but I'm rolling with the Panthers and the under. John, what about you, bro? What do you see in this game?
I guess I gotta be the one to do it. I like Edmonton tonight a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I get what you guys are saying, but I think I'm gonna stick to what I said in game 1. I think if Edmonton loses game 1, they absolutely come back and win game 2. And I'm not convinced this team is going down quietly. I think they're too good. They're too talented for that. And Draisaitl, I think this is more Bobrovsky not only having an incredible game in game 1, but Edmonton not really knowing how to play him. I think they needed to feel that out a little bit, and I expect them to come back a little stronger in game 2. But I think Florida's defense is also going to come back stronger, and in that I don't think Edmonton's going to get 32 shots again, but what I will think will happen is that they'll have fewer opportunities, but they'll take advantage when the time comes. That's kind of what I'm seeing in this game. I'm not sure which one of you said this, but I agree with the idea that this could go to overtime too. I think this is going to be a tighter game than game 1 for sure. I think I would hit the Edmonton plus 114. I have a hard time believing they go down 2-0 in this series, especially after the way they looked in game 1. Bobrovsky's really good, but I can't help but wonder, can he contain these superstars for a second straight game? It's a tall order, in my opinion. I also think Edmonton's defense let Skinner down a little bit, and their defense has been fantastic for most of the playoffs. So I don't know if Florida will get an opportunity like they had with the second goal again. So maybe this will be an under game. I guess that's the way. I guess I'm talking myself into it. 2 props I kind of like. The first one is Sergei Bobrovsky. Game 1, I like the idea of him going over with the saves, but this time, looking at the odds, I think a lot of people after game 1 expect over 24.5 to hit easily. I'm saying not so fast. I'm not very convinced of that. And this is a bit contradictory to my pick of the Oilers coming back strong in game 2, but like I said, I don't think they're going to have 32 shots on goal. I think it's going to be around 20 or so, and they'll just take advantage when they need to.
Wow.
So I'm going to say under 24.5 for Bobrovsky. That's plus 110. I'm kind of liking that because I don't think Edmonton gets that many shots again, but I don't think they're getting shut out either. So I expect it to be similar to the conference finals games they had against Dallas. One more prop. Again, I think Edmonton's going to get on the board tonight. It's just a matter of who and when. Draisaitl plus 150, I think, to be a goal scorer. That's looking very good. I find it hard to believe that both McDavid and Draisaitl don't score in this game. They had 10 shots on goal combined in game 1. So I think one of them's putting one in the net tonight. It's just a matter of who, if not both. McDavid's plus 140, Draisaitl's plus 150. I'm leaning towards Draisaitl just because McDavid probably, I know he's coming up more with goals lately, but I think he's generally more of an assist machine. So I could kind of see him setting Draisaitl up for one. I don't know. So if I had to pick a goal scorer, that's who I think I would go with.
Well, to your goaltending point, first of all, I'm not saying that they're going to hold Florida to 18 shots again, but Skinner under 26 and a half saves, I still really like it. Like, you're still talking about like 25 shots, 24 shots. I really like Skinner on the under, and I think betting the Oilers to not shoot more than 25, 26, 27 shots, I think that's playing with fire, John. But you know what? That's what I like about you, bro. You're risky. You go for it. Just send it, as the kids. Do they say that anymore? I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be really, really interesting to watch. I also think for Skinner, listen, he said this after the game, and I thought it was actually really good mentality for him. He's allowed the first shot on goal a lot. Like, that was the fourth time in the whole playoffs, which 4 times in 19 games, that's a lot. And in the 16, 17 game winning streak, whatever it was, he did it a bunch. So, like, I don't know. That's the hard part, right? Is like, you allowed 2 goals, but the first one was on the first shot of the game. It's like, you got to find a way to clean that up. All right, moving on to our best bets, brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Right now, with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off every sports card in the entire First Round Collectibles store, including cards that are on sale. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off every card in the First Round Collectibles store. That's the number 1, STRoundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. John, we'll start with you, man. What is your best bet? Game 2, Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm not going to play with fire too much, even though I like the Bobrovsky under. I'm not going. I apologize, by the way. Someone's mowing the lawn like really loudly right outside my house where I set this up. So not great timing on my part.
On his part, dude. That's his fault, not yours.
All right. I do really think Edmonton is going to come back and win this game. However, Florida is a very talented team, so just in case I am wrong on that, I'm going to go with Draisaitl scoring a goal. I think I'll be even more shocked if Draisaitl and McDavid are both left off the board again.
Sure.
Tonight. It's a near impossible task to shut those guys down 2 games in a row. One of them is at least breaking through, if not both of them. But if I'm going to pick a player, I think I'm leaning slightly towards Draisaitl to score a goal. Plus 150, I really like that. So give me that as my best bet.
Dude, is he mowing the lawn with like an airplane? Like that? It's so loud.
I know.
Like, that's outrageous.
Let me go back on mute.
No, you're good, bro. Also, actually, yeah, that is a lot quieter. Andre, before we get to you for your best bets, and let me point this out, John, not your fault, man. Who mows the lawn at 10:40? Don't you have a job? Like, go do something. But although, anyway, never mind. Before we get to Andre, I'm looking at DraftKings right now, and next to the player props, they have a picture. Poor Sergei Bobrovsky in this profile picture, still rocking the Columbus jersey, which is old school. And I was also reminded listening to the radio this morning that he used to play for the Philadelphia Flyers. I completely forgot that. Back up to Ilya Brizgalov. So there's a little throwback. But anyway, Andre, what's your best bet tonight, bro?
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit hairy again because I had mine locked and loaded, and it is Edmonton Oilers under 2.5 team goals at -1.
A little retribution.
We're getting a little shaky again. Yeah, it's great odds. I really think the Panthers are going to be tougher defensively in this game. Bob was obviously fantastic. I think that can keep up. They're going to score, but 2 most is how I see it. So under 2.5 goals for the Oilers at minus 120.
Yeah, so I was gonna take the under, which would work with that bet. We're getting a Draisaitl goal, but under 2.5 goals for the Oilers. But the more I look at it, the more I really like Bouchard over 2.5 shots, minus 125. I know it's a little bit juicy at the minus 125, but added to a parlay, that's pretty nice. I just think you're getting like Bouchard over 2.5. The guy gets almost 4 shots every single night. So over 2.5 shots for Bouch. I really like it. Minus 125. Over 2.5 shots for Evan Bouchard.
You said it was good in a parlay, and you were 100% correct. We have Leon Draisaitl plus 150 to score a goal. We have Evan Bouchard minus 125 to get at least 3 shots on goal, over 2.5 to be more formal. And we have the Edmonton Oilers as a team under 2.5 goals at minus 120. 3-leg parlay that is plus 1,100.
Once again, our picks are going against each other, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
But if Oilers, 2 goals for Draisaitl to get one of them, that's not that far-fetched. I'm okay with it. In fact, I love it. To everybody watching, whether you're watching live or throughout the day, we appreciate you. Enjoy the game tonight. Head over to our Twitter, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Follow us on socials. First Round Collectibles, promo code SportsAddict for 10% off every card in the whole store. Again, we appreciate you. Be back tomorrow. Enjoy the game tonight. Have a great day.